Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing this fine afternoon or whatever time of day it is at your place? Today we're back with the Stanley Parable. It's a cool game.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We're starting off where we left off last episode. If you didn't see that, be sure to check it out. It's like a small introduction to the game, I guess. Damn, I can't open that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So yeah, this game's all about the narrator narrating stuff. It's a really cool game in my opinion. I haven't seen many of these types of games. Oh, loading text changed, so just loading. I guess it changes every now and then.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Hello? Housekeeping?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I did say I'm gonna follow his orders first. Oh, big light bulb button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Also, I'm gonna try not to talk through most of the times he's talking, just for enjoyment.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wasn't I 274 something?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
This must have cost a fortune.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
We're always under somebody else's control.
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah. Damn. All that power gone in a blink of an eye. How horrible. Oh, is this the main ending?
Blackness. and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
Yep, main
He
ending.
had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed
I'm
from
gonna
the machine's
do
grasp?
try to
What
get
other
another
mysteries
ending
did
in this
strange
episode.
building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
What if I don't? How long can I stay here? I don't think he's gonna say anything else.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Mm-hmm. What does he do now, though? Like, sure, he got released into the world, but how is he gonna, like, live? Okay, I'm gonna go,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Okay,
mean?
we've already heard this.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open
I already
doors,
did
he entered
right
the door
door.
on his left.
Let's just
Yet
sort
there
of
was
rush
not a
through
single
this.
person here
Don't
either.
get fired.
Feeling
Yes.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Nope.
office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope, we're getting the trippy ending. Like it or not, you can't stop me.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh,
Why did
shit.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for
I do that
matter,
automatically
these
in
rooms
real
were
life.
starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
It's insane.
I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
No, he
He
was
thought to
not.
himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oi, 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 oi.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield.
Wait,
And it
wait,
took
wait,
him.
damn it.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. one he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Well,
the voice was describing itself being considered
it's
by
called
Stanley,
being
who found it
insane.
particularly strange.
It do be
I'm
like that
dreaming about
sometimes.
a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? And this voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one.
Why would you leave your open while you're
Let me
sleeping?
wake
Why
up,
would you leave your
he thought to himself.
window open while you're sleeping?
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I tell that to myself every day. But we did not go anywhere. Still here?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Is he blind or...
This is the
he
story
passed
of
it?
a woman named Mariella.
Wait a damn minute. No, it's not.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose,
Game's called
got
Stanley.
dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
Yep, definitely.
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
That's what
I
everyone
am
says.
sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
You see, everyone thinks they're sane. Even insane people think they're sane. Because they don't know they're insane. Let's get a different ending this time. See how many we can... We have 6 minutes left. I think we can shove in an ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
There was that escape thing.
Yet there was not a single person
So
here
I might
either.
get that.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly. Stanley was.
Oh
in
my
such a
God, I
rush to
actually
get through
remembered
the
it.
story as quickly as possible. He didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Wait, no, I don't have time for it. Oh, that's the icon of the game.
Feeling soothed and
It's a pretty cool
rejuvenated,
icon.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Anything to push? No? Okay. We need some elevator music. Come on, Big Chief. You could not put in elevator music? How disappointing. You can afford all those screens, but you can't afford elevator music.
Stanley walked
Disappointing.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I shall
Although this
refuse.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
You see, that's crazy. Everyone dies
The door
eventually.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yeah, you see, I do, but I'm
At this
gonna...
point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
You gotta confront it sometimes. It'll happen eventually. What can you do? And... I'm dead. And I'm still alive. Hey yo, I take all that back. I don't
As
like
the
this
machine
anymore.
whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it
Well,
reflected that his life
not
had been
that
of
bad
no
over there.
consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
It was a good life, very good.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
What do you
as
mean?
Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh. Wait.
And yet it would
Hello?
be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can
Is this
walk
heaven?
has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
That is
Do you see now?
bright. Oh my god.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh. That's trippy. These are some dope people, let me tell you. Good. This is some pretty cool. I am a fan of like seeing what happened in like development. Oh, 427, not 247. I am like a fan of seeing what happened in like development stages of like games. That very interests me. The countdown desk. We haven't gotten to most of these parts yet. What can you do? In the next episode, I'll probably get some more endings.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only
Nope.
true choice. Whatever you do,
Let me
choose
die.
it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Dead. Hello? Did the game crash? The game wants me to quit. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I think this is the ending. I'm not sure. It's just a black screen. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this game, and I'll probably do another video with some of the other endings. I think there's more difficult endings. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you when I see you. Later.